Spring is in full swing here in Sydney. The days are slowly getting longer and warmer, and there's a palpable sense of awakening and anticipation in the air. It can be a season of deep renewal and growth if we take the time to sow and nurture the seeds that will serve us. For me, this season has birthed a number of new beginnings and deeply inspired my creativity. As the flowers around me tilt towards the sun, I too have been leaning into what sustains and energizes me, especially during those weeks when the work feels insurmountable. Hello, welcome back to my study here in Sydney. It is Monday today, it's 11 a.m. I've just sat down at my desk to get started on some work. So I've already been to Pilates this morning, I did that earlier today, and now I'm ready to get started and get organized for the week. This is a very busy week, so I thought I would take you along to show you how I'm attempting to juggle full-time podcasting, digital education work, content creating, and also a full-time master's program as well. So it's going to be interesting. I've got a lot of recordings this week. I've actually got one every day, a variety of live discussions, podcast recordings, and then just other meetings that I need to attend. So there's a lot going on. I'm also going away next week for a little bit, so I'm trying to get ahead and make sure I've got everything covered before I head off next week. And what I'm going to start with is just looking at my diary, my to-do list for this week, and starting off with all the podcast sort of related work. So I'm going to be scheduling live, scheduling recordings, writing questions for upcoming podcast episodes. I need to edit a film review for my Patreon community. So there's a few little bits and pieces. I've got to write some welcome cards for Patreon as well for new subscribers. I need to respond to emails. So I think what I'm going to do is just spend the next little while, however long it takes me, to get all those sort of little admin-y tasks done, because then I think I'm going to feel much more organized and much better for the week ahead, because I do, of course, have a lot of study that I need to do as well. Deep breath though, one thing at a time, and I'm excited to have you with me this week so that you get to see a little bit of the behind the scenes of all of this. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to get started on this and I will touch base with you after that. Okay, I am back. It is about 2:45 in the afternoon. I have been working pretty much that whole time apart from a short break for lunch earlier. So I've been ticking things off the list, but I still got things to do. I spent quite a bit of time working on social media posts today actually, because yesterday I published a new podcast episode on the Pendle witch trials, and I didn't get time yesterday to share it or to promote it on social media. So I have done that now. So basically after I publish any podcast episode, there's still a lot of work that happens after that, because of course you need to promote it, especially when you're an independent podcaster like I am. You don't have people to do this for you, so you have to do it all yourself. So what I tend to do is I use little snippets of the video and I share those on my various social media accounts. So Instagram, Facebook, Threads, what else? Blue Sky. I've started sharing them on TikTok as well. So I did that too. YouTube Shorts. The good thing is you can use the same little video for all of those, which is great. Sometimes you just have to amend the caption because there are different word limits, unfortunately, on all these different sort of sites, and there are ways that you can make it apply more to one particular site. So you do need to do a little bit of fiddling around with, a little bit of work, but I did do that, and I will hopefully share a few more little kind of teaser videos over the next few days. So that is done. The other thing I wanted to share with you is a book that I received last week because it's just so beautiful. So this is it here. It's called Six Queens by Lydia Monks. She's an illustrator, and some of you may know she illustrates a lot of Julia Donaldson's children's books. So this is an illustrated guide to the iconic queens of Henry VIII, and it is so beautiful. I'll show you just a couple of the pages. It's just so beautifully illustrated, and I've been having a look through, and it's really thoughtfully, sensitively written, of course, because it's aimed at children and young, I would say like sort of young teenagers. And it explores the lives of the queens, the six queens, but also talks in general about, you know, life in Tudor England. So that we've got childbirth in Tudor times, but the illustrations are really, really stunning. I think it's a really visually appealing book. There's sort of like comic sections that are more like comic books that I think that will really appeal to young people. But it does go into some depth actually as well, which was really great. And I think, you know, I was a primary school teacher before my history work, or alongside my history work for many years. And these were the kind of books that I just got so excited about because they're quality literature. The writing is beautiful, but also you've got the illustrations. So I think it's a really good springboard for some very interesting, nuanced discussions in the classroom. I think you could do a lot with this actually. Actually, you could probably create a whole unit out of it. So I did a little post to thank Lydia for sending me the book. It also has a foreword by Professor Susanna Lipscomb. So that's pretty cool. So if you've got a young budding Tudor historian in your life, you might like to get them a copy of Six Queens. Really, really beautiful. But the other thing I wanted to show you that arrived, completely on a different subject, are these little boxes. So I got two of these. So some of you know I have started a master's degree, an MA in medieval studies, and one of the subjects I'm doing is Latin. It is a beginner's course, but it is an intensive Latin. I talked about that in the last video that I did. And so there is rote learning involved. You just can't get out of it. There are just some things that you need to memorize, including all the verb conjugations, or suddenly the different groups, noun declensions, adjective declensions. So what I've been doing is writing out palm cards. Now, look, I'll just show you. I've only been studying this for 10 days, everyone. Oh my goodness, I know, slightly terrifying. They are all written up, although there's all palm cards. So I wanted to find a way of organizing the palm cards that wasn't going to be in little plastic bags and just sort of thrown all over my study. So I found these little boxes, super cute, just on Amazon. And I've got little headings. And so I've broken them up into verb conjugations, noun declensions, adjective declensions, or however you say that, personal pronouns, prepositions, just more general verbs, general nouns, and then general vocab and adjectives to learn. So for example, let me get one out. I'll get the sort of general vocab that keeps coming out. Sorry, it's back to front, isn't it? Oh, I hate when that happens. So anyway, you get the idea though. So I've got the Latin word, so nam, and then at the back it says that is for or because, and it's generally the first word in Latin, as in the sentence. Then I've got autem, and that is but, and on the back it says that it's the second word in Latin, that's normally the position in the sentence, but we translate it as the first word in English. Quod is because, so they're all sort of the ones you need to kind of, you know, just memorize. Et is and, but it can also be also, to, even, depending how we use it. Que, you can see the question mark, is why. So anyway, you get the idea. So any sort of vocab that I think, oh, that would be really useful for me to know, I've got it there. These are the verb conjugations. So I've set them out basically in a way that I think makes it easy to remember. So amo, amas, amat, amamos, amatis, amant, which equal I love, you love, he, she, it loves, we love, you plural love, they love. And then I've written the imperative form down the bottom because we've been using that as well, which is ama, which is love, exclamation, And amate, love. If you're talking to a group of people and you're telling them to love, you would say amate. So I've done that for all the conjugations. I'm going pretty well. I've pretty much memorized the first conjugation, the second conjugation, the third. I'm getting there with the fourth. And then there are irregular ones, of course, like with all languages, things that, you just have to know. So the verb to be, I pretty much got that one memorized, which is sum es est, sumus esti sunt. And then the one that I still need to just get into my head is the irregular verb to go, which is a little bit different to the others. So anyway, I've done exactly the same thing for all the noun declensions. Can I just show you though? So this is a lot. And I'm starting to memorize these now. So I think I've pretty much got the first declension feminine nouns in my head, but I need to move on to all the others. Now, of course, when you do the exams and everything, it's open book, but the problem is it takes a very long time if you don't have at least some of this in your head that you can just recall. Because imagine if you have to keep looking every single thing up. Because the way Latin works is it's not the word order that conveys meaning, it's the sort of ends of the word. So in order to know what is happening in a sentence, in order to know who's the subject, what's the object, what's the verb, who's doing the verb, all of that sort of stuff, you need to know those endings. And it takes a long time if you don't have any of them, like that you can just recall immediately, because you have to look everything up to work out what is happening in a sentence. It's not like English that the order conveys the meaning and we know who's the subject and what's going on. It's quite different. But just in case you're using flashcards, I just thought I'd mention the little box system, which I hope would be good. And the other thing is, because I'm going to travel next week and I need to be studying for my first sort of test, it's handy. I can just take these in the car with me because we're driving, along with my Pocket Oxford Latin Dictionary that I just received today. So this is like the very compact version, I suppose, of the like big volume set that you can get for a lot of money, very expensive. But I think this, along with my textbooks that also have a sort of dictionary in them, will work really well and should help me decipher most sentences. So that will absolutely come with me. But yes, just wanted to show you that. Now, what I need to do is, what time is it? Yeah, 3 p.m. So what I'm going to do is now edit that film review that I talked about. I still haven't done that. It's an hour long. It doesn't need a heavy edit. It's just a couple of things that I wanted to trim. So I'm just going to watch over it, trim those couple of things, and then that will be ready to publish. So I will be back in touch with you again after that. So I just finished a podcast recording. It is 7:20. I just interviewed the lovely Sophie Bacchus-Waterman about her new book on Elizabeth Boleyn. So that was great. Had a lovely conversation with her. Her book will be out on the 30th of October. Very exciting. So I am very tired now. I am going to go and get some dinner and then rest a little bit before bed. So I will see you all in the morning. Good morning. It is Tuesday morning now, 7:30 a.m. I just finished hosting a Study With Me session. So I run these with my Patreon community. So basically we just get together, a small group of us, and we work. We have focused work for an hour to an hour and a half. Today was almost an hour and a half. And we're all working on our different projects. So we have like a little catch up at the beginning, just to say hello and introduce anyone who's new to the group and what they're working on. And then I just say a quick goodbye at the end. But it's really lovely to spend some time working together. So basically it's like replicating being at the library, all sitting together and doing our work. So we don't talk very much, but it is really inspiring to be sort of working and seeing other people doing the same. It just means you're not going to get distracted, makes you quite accountable. So yeah, really lovely. So I just did that. So as I said, 7:30 a.m. So I'm now going to get some breakfast. I need some breakfast, got to wake up. And then today I'm going to spend a lot of time on uni work. Yesterday was all about podcast and courses and a lot of admin. So today it's going to be focused on my 2 subjects that I'm doing, one on research methods and skills, and the other one's the Latin, of course. And then I've got an interview tonight at 7 p.m. So it's going to be another long work day because it started at 6 a.m. and I won't finish till it'll be after probably 8:30 when I wrap up. So let's get on with the day. Hello, good morning. It is around 10 a.m. on Wednesday morning. I know I didn't check in very much yesterday. I do apologize for that. I pretty much exhausted myself. Ended up working for hours and hours and hours on this homework task that I had, which I did submit, so that's all done, thankfully. It was great. I really enjoyed it, but just that sort of really focused time, I think 5 hours or 6 hours or something, just tired me out a lot. I did end up also going for another walk, so I went for another 5-kilometer walk. I did 2 of those yesterday because I just feel like when I get to that point where I'm just exhausted, I need to do something physical to kind of re-energize. So I did do that, which was lovely. And then I had the recording that I mentioned, a podcast recording at 7 p.m., which also went really well. So I was tired, but the sort of second I started talking to my guest, it was Dr. Elizabeth Goldring about Hans Holbein, I got really energized and excited, and her enthusiasm kind of caught onto me, and it was it's a really great conversation. I can't wait to share that. And then after that, honestly, I just lay on the couch. My husband and I had 1 or 2 glasses of something fizzy and listened to some records, and that was just the perfect way to end the evening. And I went to bed quite early. This morning already I've been to the gym, which is why I'm looking a bit disheveled, apologies. So I've been to the gym today. I did, it was all about weights. So it was an hour session. I combined 2 sort of little programs that one of the PTs at my gym created for me. So that was really good. I did that, popped into the shops, because today they have predicted, the Weather Bureau has predicted that we are going to hit 39 degrees Celsius. Now, for October, that is crazy. Actually, they've said if we do hit that, that will be our hottest October day on record. Normally, those sorts of days of that kind of heat come in our peak summer. So to have that in spring is kind of a little bit odd. So it's a sort of blinds down kind of day. I'm glad I've already been to the gym. It's air conditioned, but it's still on hot days like that. Not even the aircon can cope with that. So glad that I've done that, and I've got something for dinner. So so today what I'm going to do is focus on my Latin work, which was actually something quite exciting that I can share for those of you who heard my last video or watched my last video and know about the whole kerfuffle with all of that. So I submitted my homework the other day. I got feedback today, this morning, and I'm very happy to share that I did really well on the homework. So I had quite a big paragraph to translate, and I only had I had like 2 definite errors throughout the homework that were silly mistakes. Now that I look at it, I'm like, yeah, I should have known that. And then a couple that were like more interpretation things, of better ways of translating the Latin into English. So that's quite good. I'm happy with that. The main issue is that I'm very slow. It takes me literally all day to do like a translation. So I need to, and that is because I haven't got it all memorized. I've only been doing this not even 2 weeks yet. So that's really crucial, actually important that I get more of it in my head, memorized, and I can recall it really quickly rather than having to look everything up. And even the stuff that I have memorized, I'm kind of like doubting myself. Oh, am I right? So I double check it. So yeah. So what I'm going to start with, I think I'm going to go over everything, like just read my notes from the last 2 weeks first, write up some more flashcards that I didn't finish doing for the week 2 readings. Then I'm going to get started watching this week's video lecture and taking notes and pausing to do some activities as well. That's the plan. Got my kombucha handy, and yeah, this will absolutely, take me till lunch. And then, well, it'll take me a whole day, but I'll have a break at lunch. So I'm going to aim to do a good 2 hours till around midday and then have a little break for lunch. So I will come back with another update soon. Wish me luck. Hello, it is almost 3:45 on Thursday afternoon. I have been working hard all day. This is honestly the first opportunity I've had to really say hello to you. So hello, I hope you're well. What have I been doing today? So the first thing this morning, I went to my Pilates class. Love starting a day like that. I normally only do 3 per week, Reformer Pilates, but because I will be away from home for some 5 days, I think it is next week, rather than pausing the membership, I'm just going to use up my Pilates credits. So I'll basically be going most days between now and when I head off next week. So I did that. I came home, had a little bit of time just to get ready and do a couple of admin bits. And then I had I had a meeting with one of my wonderful mentees. This is my history mentorship program that I offer through Talking Tudors Patreon. So we had a lovely chat, spent an hour online chatting, talking about some of her exciting projects, and I offered some advice, etc. And yes, so that took me, it was about 12, just after lunchtime when we finished. So then I had a quick lunch, and since then I have been pretty much just finishing off my Latin homework for this week. So that is done, thankfully. And now what I'm going to do is edit the video of a podcast episode, the new one that's coming out this weekend. So what I like to do is publish the video for my YouTube, as in my Talking Tudors YouTube channel subscribers, a couple of days or a few days before the audio goes live to the public. So they get a chance to watch the video ad-free before it then goes to everybody, live to everyone. So I need to get that video edited and uploaded. I also have both university lectures that happened last night. It's at a bad time for me, so I didn't attend. I need to watch the recordings. One is an hour, one's 2 hours long. So it's 3 hours of watching lectures ahead of me. I also have to preview the lecture that I'm going to put out to my yearly course participants. I normally have that done way before now, because I publish that on Fridays, but because this week has just been insanely busy, I haven't gotten to that, so I do need to do that. That's probably that, and the video editing is a priority. The 2 university lectures I can probably watch tomorrow. That won't be too much of a problem. And then tomorrow I'll also need to edit the audio of the podcast. But once I've got the video edited, that shouldn't take me too long, hopefully. So it's been a very busy week. As you can see, I'm trying to tick things off the list. I also have a live recording tomorrow morning, first thing at 7 a.m. So there's a live discussion for the Talking Tudors Patreon. I then have a podcast recording on Saturday morning, actually early again, and then Sunday night. Very busy this week. So next week, thankfully, I've only got 1 recording, actually. So that should give me more time to focus on other things. But yes, this week has been quite a busy one. So I am going to stop blabbing and continue working. And hopefully I will check in with you later. If not, I will see you in the morning. Good morning. It is around 8:30 a.m. on Friday morning. I just finished the live discussion that I was doing this morning for my Talking Tudors Patreon community. It went really well, apart from some glitches with the internet at the beginning, which I really need to get sorted. Anyway, thankfully, that only lasted a few minutes and then it was all fine. I chatted to the wonderful historian, medieval and Tudor historian Nathan Armin. We had a really great conversation, wide-ranging conversation about lots of different things. So I'm just uploading the recording of that to the Patreon community for people that weren't able to make it due to time difference. So happy to have gotten that done and enjoyed that very much. So what I need to do today is watch the recordings of the university lectures I mentioned yesterday. So last night, actually, I didn't finish working until I think it was about 9 p.m. So it was a very long day. I did, though, manage to watch the preview, that lecture that I was talking about that I had to publish today for my yearly course. So I did all that. That's all done, ticked off. So basically, in terms of the history podcasting stuff, I have ticked off all the main items this week, except I even edited the video as well and uploaded that. So that's all done. I just need to edit the audio, but I could do that tomorrow or this weekend. That's for the new episode coming out this weekend. So now it's basically just uni stuff that I need to focus on after a little bit of admin. I've got a few admin-y things that I need to do. And I also want to get some exercise in. So, but first thing, breakfast time. Good morning, everyone. I've just arrived at my Pilates class. It is 6:20 in the morning, Saturday morning. I'm going to do my Pilates, then head home, and I have a recording at 8 a.m. So a bit of a tight squeeze, but I should be able to get everything done. And I'm going to leave this video here. I do hope you've enjoyed spending the week with me, very busy week. And I look forward to seeing you all next time. But in the meantime, please take good care of yourselves and don't forget to leave me a comment saying hello and hit that subscribe button. All right, see you all very soon.